Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin is a pumping yet again. We're back above $65,000. Let's freaking go. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as Mt. Gox shifts $9 billion in BTC as the market braces for impact. We'll also be discussing institutions are more bullish on Ether than the retail ahead of the Ether ETF launch, which could be days away. We'll also be discussing Craig Wright, aka Fake Toshi, perjury charges he is now facing over his false Bitcoin creator claims. About time, eh? And also going to be speaking about Donald Trump picking crypto-friendly JD Vance as his running mate. That's right. The Ohio senator reported holding up to $250,000 worth of Bitcoin in 2022 and has supported specific pro-crypto legislation. Also, resurfaced clip shows Trump's VP pick slamming Gensler's approach to crypto. You're going to love that. And also, we're going to be sharing the latest prediction from Samson Mao, who shares that Bitcoin is going to $1 million. I am not uncertain. All this, plus so much more, in today's show.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day, maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JD.
Welcome to the entire crypto fam. We're back above 65 G's. We're still pumping it in the green. We've been pumping since the weekend, since like Friday. It's already Tuesday. Let's keep the pump moving. Hopefully we can recapture price discovery here sooner than later. But anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes and be sure to subscribe. Then hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod episode number 1702. I'm your host, JV. It's July 16th. 2024 market still pumping, already up over $1,800 on the day. We surpassed 65 G's, baby. We're more than halfway there towards 70 for a recapture. When are we going to hit the all-time high and re-enter price discovery? Let me know, as there's a poll up in the live chat, and towards the end of the stream we'll end the poll and read the results. But let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. As you can see here on Coin360, Bitcoin's up pumping, Ether's up pumping, XRP is one of the top gainers, up 9%, now trading at 58.5 cents, but the majority of the market all pumping and in the green, which is a beautiful thing. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at 53.8% Bitcoin dominance, 2.4 million cryptos, and 2.38 trillion as far as the crypto market cap, with the Bitcoin market cap fast approaching 1.3 trillion. It's 1.286 to be exact. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got WorldCoin up 24%, Core up 20%, and the infamous Pepe up 16.5%. Below that, Bonk and Whiff. Which alts, if any, are you most bullish on for the bull? Holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective. Let's start on the daily. You can see virtually everything in the green, which is a beautiful sign, and many of these coins up 10, 20+%. But zooming out on the monthly, y'all must have forgot, still many of these alts in Wreck City land, but some are recovering. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of the month of July. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're back. We bounced. We're currently at a 65 in greed. We did hit like extreme fear for like a day or two, and lo and behold, we had the pump. That's why I love this indicator. The lower this number goes in extreme fear, the more likely of a pump. The higher this goes in extreme greed, the more likely of a dump. So there you go. Crypto, yo. Shout out Jason Buck, just gifted 5 memberships to the channel. So congratulations, DNA Noonan, Chris Klein, WCBJJ77, Eric Castro, NK. You've all been hooked up with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. The membership is going to get you your name green, and you're going to have a badge next to your name as well. And every month that badge is going to change colors. It shows your loyalty to the show, and you're going to get Shout outs, of course, whenever you comment here. So we appreciate that. Whoa, 10 more memberships just gifted. Massive shout out to Grant Noakes. He just hooked it up times 10. So congratulations, Diana Jones, Zondoff, Grant, Jerry Reynolds, Mark Anthony, Pito de Bureau, Rain Nola, The Everlasting Bliss, shout out Muhammad, DDM, and Virtual Gold LLC. You've all been hooked up with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel here on behalf of Grant Noakes. So thank you, Grant, for hooking it up, broski. We appreciate all the gifted memberships, the gift that keeps on giving. Without further ado, we got a lot to cover. Let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also pull up some of the live charts. Why not? Let's discuss it. So yeah, Bitcoin bears have been trapped, but can Bitcoin price surpass 70,000 by the end of this month? What are your thoughts surrounding that, family? Let me know. The Bitcoin price confirmed the trend reversal after June's month-long downtrend. Could Bitcoin recover above the 70,000 psychological mark until the end of the summer? Let me know your thoughts. The Bitcoin price recovered from its over 1 month downtrend, according to TA from popular trader Mustache, quoting him here. Bitcoin is back above one of the most important bull market lines, which is the blue line here in the chart. In the previous cycles, it never fell below until the cycle top. This is a strong sign that the bull market far from over. Amen to that. We're just getting started, broski. And another bullish technical signal for the price action, the selling pressure from long-term Bitcoin hodlers has stopped, according to analyst Axel Adler, quoting him here. At the 61.6 level, the selling pressure from the long-term hodlers, which lasted 7 months, ceased. And after the 11% increase during the week, Bitcoin price is back above the 200-day exponential moving average. Make some noise for that, which is considered the key trend line to maintain above during the bull markets. The 200-day EMA is a long-term indicator used by many analysts to measure the health of an asset's price based on the average closing price of the past 200 days. So will 70,000 be reclaimed next? What are your thoughts? Now, not only did Bitcoin get a nod from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink yesterday, we discussed that, but based on the technical chart patterns, it could reclaim 70,000 by the end of August if the current uptrend continues. In fact, we can achieve that by the end of July. Easy. We're less than 5,000 away. Now, the bulls first need to decisively reclaim the 60 mark, according to Captain Fabic. Quoting him here. Bitcoin bulls are again trying to clear the crucial resistance level at 60 Gs. Once the breakout is done, the next stop will be 70 Gs. 70 Gs, let's send it. Now, in a more bullish scenario, Bitcoin could be setting up for a rally to 85,000 by the end of September. Sounds good to me. According to Crypto Wealth, quoting him here, as Bitcoin proceeds into the fifth wave, where my fifth level Bitcoin G's at. The first main target I'll be looking at is the 85,000 region before the final target around the 100,000 plus area. 6 figs. Let's get it. And there are other, predictions, of course, including a $330,000 target, but we can get as bullish as we want. And trust me, as we continue throughout the show, we'll get more and more bullish. That's what we do here. Welcome to the most bullish Bitcoin channel in existence and who has been consistently the most bullish throughout the entire bear market. Facts. Now check this out. Let's look at some of the live charts live and in the flesh for you guys. So this is brought to you by TradingView via Coinbase. This is the 1 month chart looking uber bullish like a mofo right now. You see we had 7 green consecutive candles followed by itty bitty red, itty bitty green, itty bitty red. And let's see how we end this month of July. And now let's zoom in for different looks, different perspectives. Here's the 1 week. Again, this is live and in the flesh. Live. TA. Bullish flag, breakout formation, big time, baby. Sitting at roughly 93,000 range. We also have a cup and handle bullish target all the way at 126,000 on the weekly chart. So bullish chart, bullish as all heck. Weekly chart, bullish as a mofo, but you already know. And let's zoom in a little more, family, because y'all must have forgot. Let's check out the 1 day. Look at that. Looky here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're about to have the 5th green bullish daily candle. As you can clearly see, we've been on a tear, recovering back above the 200-day exponential moving average. You got to love it, because that was really the line in the sand. Let's check out the 4 hours, family. This is the 4-hour chart, also looking uber bullish. 1, 2, 3 green candles, 2 pretty respective ones, followed by the drop from the the red candle you see there. And let's just zoom in to the 1 hour. for a more zoomed in perspective. A lot of action here. They're all looking bullish. We have a rising wedge formation here as well. And we do have a top target. Let me see if I could move that. Hard to see the exact figure on that, but above 65. So bullishness in the markets. You got to love and respect the pump. So there you have it. Crypto fam, where do you feel the Bitcoin price will likely take us for the month of July? Do you think realistically we can reclaim all-time high or get back to the 70,000 range? Don't be a stranger. Let me know. Now let's discuss this Mt. Gox sell-off, headline reads, Mt. Gox shifts 9 billion in BTC as the market braces for impact. That's right. In 3 hours on July 16th, Mt. Gox moved 140,000 biddies worth $9 billion to a known cold wallet and 2 unknown addresses. According to Arkham Intelligence, Mt. Gox still holds almost 139,000 Bitcoin in the main wallet, worth around $8.7 billion, and begun mobilizing funds held for the first time in 2 weeks. The 2 transactions saw almost 96,000 biddies worth over $6 billion shifted to unknown wallets, while the initial 44,500 biddies was sent to a known Mt. Gox cold wallet. The combined volume of Mt. Gox's Bitcoin transactions on July 16th amounted to almost 190,000 BTC, accounting for over $12 billion in value moved in 3 hours. The unknown address ending in, who cares, received 42,500 Bitcoin worth $2.69 billion, while the remaining 4,600 Bitcoin worth $294 million was transferred to the Mt. Gox cold wallet. A different one. One of the addresses has not yet transferred the 42,500 Bitcoin, but the resulting fear in the market has caused its value to fall as market sentiment towards Bitcoin shifts. Shortly after, a further 48,600 biddies was sent to another unknown address, shifting another $3 billion in holdings out of the main Mt. Gox wallet. Now, the Bitcoin price, as you know, is pumping. We're back above 65,000. We ain't seen a price action like this in quite some time. I guess the bottom is in. We bottomed out at 53.5 a few days back, maybe a week ago. So anyways, market sentiment turned bearish as the Bitcoin price began to fall hours before the first Mt. Gox transaction that was on the 16th, but only to continue falling as further outflows hit unknown wallets. Now let's discuss the repayment repercussions and how it could impact the market. Mt. Gox announced July 5th it would begin repaying its Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash debts and creditors, stating the repayments would be made to rehabilitation creditors via designated crypto exchanges. The announcement cited the rehabilitation debtor as Mt. Gox and the rehabilitation trustee as Nobuaki Kobayashi, attorney at law. The repayment statement indicated that the remaining rehabilitation creditors would receive funds promptly following the completion of prerequisite conditions. And as the main Mt. Gox wallet carried over $9 billion in Bitcoin outflows for July 16th, the promise of prompt repayments could come to fruition before August. And I want to actually read you this tweet from Samson Mao. Only about 20% of distributed Mt. Gox Bitcoin will hit the market. About 80% will just move to cold storage or be borrowed against. However, 100% of distributed Bitcoin Cash will hit the market. So there you go, crypto fam. So he's ultimately saying, don't worry, these Mt. Gox people are smart money. They obviously are ahead of the curve. They're early adopters because Mt. Gox went defunct back in 2014. So safe to say, 80% hodlers, I dig that. So I wouldn't be so panicked. However, Bitcoin cashers, I'd be extremely panicked because the market cap is insignificant in comparison to Bitcoin. So it doesn't take much dumpage to impact and crash the price. So keep that in mind, Roger Ver fans. Let's discuss the latest with the Ethereum ETF, which could see the approval any day now. Institutions are more bullish on Ether than retail ahead of the ETH ETF launch. That's right. Institutional investor confidence in Ether price is stronger than the retail investors, according to Eugene Chong, the head of institutions over at Bybit, quoting him here. Our recent report shows that institutional investors are bullish on ETH more so than retail investors. Institutional investors doubted their Ether exposure shortly after the ETF was announced from 6.5% to 14%, according to the report referenced by the analyst. And during the same time, retail investors' allocation rose to 9.5% from 7.5%, showing a cautiously optimistic sentiment towards the Ether price action. Institutional investors can now significantly contribute to an asset's price appreciation due to the high amount of capital they hold, which is why institutional crypto interest is considered a bullish sign for the tokens. Now, Ether's price could see twofold increase during the current bull cycle, meaning that ETH could be trading at over 6,800 by the end of 2025. I'd say that's extremely conservative because I'm anticipating multiple six-figure Bitcoin. We got to be anticipating at least a $10,000 to $20,000 ETH, but that's just my two Satoshis. Let me know your thoughts, fam. Thanks to the newfound interest in the Ether ETFs, the Ether price can double, according to Bybit's analysts here. I have seen traders increasing their exposure to Ether recently. The anticipation of ETH approval has also driven interest in assets within the broader Ethereum ecosystem. I am optimistic about ETH's long-term price, expecting it to double within the next 18 months, given potential investors an excellent risk-reward ratio. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Ether price is up 11% on the weekly chart, trading now above 3,400. The world's second largest crypto reversed its monthly long downtrend on July 8th, according to the Binance data. Binance data. Get it right. However, Ether could need another $412 billion worth of investment to double its current market cap and reach the 6,800 mark. Ether is currently 30% down from the all-time high, which was above 4,800, which was reached all the way back November of 2021. Around the time Bitcoin hit its previous cycle all-time high of 69,000, I believe it was November 10th, 2021. Now, Ether may outperform Bitcoin in the long term, according to some, such as Eric Balchunas, senior ETF analyst over at Bloomberg, quoting him here. Ether is less understood than Bitcoin and is a younger asset, so it's largely unknown how flows will stack up. In the short term, I would expect something like 30% of the Bitcoin flows. Yet in the long term, the Ether ETF launch could provide more regulatory certainty around Ether, which could make it outperform the Bitcoin price in the future, according to Chuang, who shared here. As people become more educated and the regulatory situation improves, I expect Ether to one day outperform BTC because of its rich and varied use cases, especially if the ETFs can incorporate Ether's native yield. Now, during the past year, the Bitcoin price rose 111%, while Ether price increased 77%. According to Binance, so Bitcoin has been outpacing Ether. Will it continue? Let me know your thoughts. And also, let me know if you're bullish on the Ethereum spot ETF, which can be getting the green light any day. It could be this week. That's the word on the street. Next story of the day. Let's dive right in and discuss the latest with Fake Toshi, aka Craig Wright, facing perjury charges for a false Bitcoin creator claim. Yeah, screw this guy. He caused a lot of harm to a lot of the Bitcoin community, a lot of harm to the Bitcoin developers, and he officially is going to be facing these perjury charges. So let's break it down. It's about time. The renowned Australian computer scientist Fake Toshi, aka Craig Wright, has long claimed to be the mastermind behind Bitcoin and has been referred to British prosecutors for alleged perjury. That's right. The London High Court judge found on July 16th that Wright lied extensively. I'm not surprised, to support his false claim of being Satoshi, the synonymous author of the 2008 Bitcoin white paper. There's only one Satoshi, and it's sure as hell not Craig Wright. Now, in a March ruling, Judge James Mellor determined that the evidence overwhelmingly disproved Wright's claim after the COPA initiated a trial to prevent Wright from suing Bitcoin developers. And according to Reuters, Judge Mellor's written ruling July 16th indicated Craig Wright's conduct warranted referral to Britain's Crown Prosecution Service to consider perjury charges. Just jump on it. The judge explained the perjury charges should be considered due to Wright's false testimony during the COPA-initiated trial. That's right, he perjured himself. Judge Mellor emphasized that prosecution, an arrest warrant, or extradition could be pursued due to the seriousness of Wright's actions and false claims. And according to the legal document filed July 5th, the High Court of the UK issued Wright with a world freezing order. The order resulted in Wright's assets being frozen in efforts to aid podcast host and entrepreneur Peter McCormick, who was sued by Wright for libel in 2019. The freezing of Wright's assets allowed McCormick to recoup around $1.9 million in legal fees incurred in the case. It's insane how much legal fees cost to defend yourself in court, family. And it's, so kudos for McCormick getting these funds back due to, the negligence and perjury of Craig Wright. And on May 23rd, Judge Mellor issued a detailed ruling in the COPA-initiated case, dismantling Wright's mountain of fabricated evidence and assertions regarding his true identity. In the case, COPA alleged that Wright engaged in an elaborate scheme of forgery and deceit when fabricating evidence to support his now proven falsified identity claims. COPA's legal team presented a range of evidence and expert testimony exposing Wright's false evidence and the inconsistencies in false proof of his identity. So there you have it, crypto fam. What are your thoughts on the fake Toshi? Hopefully he has some severe consequences and perjury charges as a result of lying and screwing with so many Bitcoin developers and so many Bitcoiners and the entire Bitcoin community as a whole. So yeah, here's the latest. This is big news announced just the other day. Donald Trump picks crypto-friendly JD Vance as his running mate. That's right, prospective Republican Party presidential candidate Donald Trump, the Teflon Don, the untouchable, has been chosen. Senator chose JD Vance to be his running mate in 2024. Question for the fam here. How many of you have ever heard of the Ohio Senator, JD Vance? I don't really follow politics, so I'm not going to front. I've never heard of the man until yesterday, but nonetheless, now we're all going to be knowing about him. In a July 15th announcement on Truth Social, Trump said Ohio Senator would join his ticket as the vice presidential Republican candidate. Vance is rated as a strong supporter of cryptocurrencies by Coinbase's Stand with Crypto initiative, based on positive social media posts and voting in favor of pro-crypto pieces of legislation. Precisely what we need. Let's go. In a 2022 financial disclosure report for the U.S. Senate, Vance reported holding between $100,000 and $250,000 in Bitcoin through crypto exchange Coinbase. He also voted in favor of a joint resolution to overturn a Securities and Exchange Commission rule on banks reporting crypto as a liability on their balance sheet. Legislation Sleepy Joe vetoed. Good for Vance on that one. And so, yeah, this is why crypto is taken off. The regime will cut off your access to banking if you have the wrong politics. Preach. Vance, the author of the book, Hillbilly Elegy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that second word right, but he has been a politician for less than 2 years, won his first race in the Ohio Senate seat in 2022. Trump endorsed Vance back in 2022, midterm elections for the Senate, and Vance endorsed Trump as president in the 2024 Republican primaries. However, Vance previously said Trump was unfit to be U.S. president and that he never liked him, and anyone who voted for him was an idiot. That's wild. Now, the Ohio Senator's addition to a possible Republican ticket, delegates at the convention are expected to nominate Trump, came amid crypto and blockchain as wedge campaign issues. In 2024, Trump announced ahead of the convention that his campaign would accept crypto contributions. He also may have helped direct the Republican Party to change its official platform to include statements defending Bitcoin miners as opposing central bank digital currencies. So another one, anti-CBDC, which is good. U.S. President Biden, expected to be the Democratic nominee, reportedly been investigating accepting campaign contributions in crypto. But I'll never forget the tweet he made in 2020, because I saw it earlier today, and I reposted it, and I put Biden equals clown, hashtag FJB with a pump fist, because he said he don't own Bitcoin, and he will never, ever accept, use Bitcoin or accept Bitcoin payments or donations. And so good. We don't want Biden accepting Bitcoin donations. If you're a Bitcoiner and you want to donate to someone who actually appreciates it, not someone who is an enemy of Bitcoin, if you feel what I'm saying. So anyways, family, that's the new running mate for Trump. Let me know if you support him. In our next story, we're going to be discussing something very, very interesting. So now for our feature story of the day. Resurfaced clip shows Trump's VP pick slamming Gensler's approach to crypto. Wait till I show you this. We'll also be discussing Samson Mao's $1 million price reiteration, which he just recently shared. So yeah, I'm going to break this down for you, as you can see in the headline. And I'm just going to get right into the tweet, right? Just word for word here. So here we have it. Senator JD Vance confronted SEC Chairman Gary Gensler today, sounding the alarm over weaponized investigations against political opponents, notably those associated with President Trump. And shout out to KJAM for sharing the resource with me on X, which, got this on my attention, and I wanted to share it. So yeah, in a pointed exchange, here's what Vance underscored, and much respect to Vance here. You were Clinton's finance director in 2016. And again, all this is directed towards the current chairman of the SEC, No Claire Gare, aka Gary Gensler. You hired anti-Trump enforcement director Grewal in July of 2021. You brought in Miss Barbero, who was the litigator on 2 House impeachment trials against Donald Trump. Another enforcement counsel was married to Peter Strzok. In November of 2021, Senator Warren urged you to investigate the SPAC merger involving Donald Trump's Truth Social campaign or company. And in December of 2021, you launched an investigation using a novel legal theory against the former president's social media company. Vance expresses concern, stating, the problem is investigating a SPAC merger using a novel legacy theory against your boss, Joe Biden's chief political rival. He further emphasized the potential misuse of power, suggesting the SEC might be using its enforcement powers to silence the chief political rival of the current president. Preach. In closing with a stark warning, Vance remarked, it looks more and more like not an impartial regulatory body, but a regulatory body that is using its power to silence and immiserate political rivals of the current president of the United States, in a nation that values impartiality and justice. It is deeply concerning when regulatory bodies appear to stack the deck with individuals holding clear vendettas, such as this bald gentleman, Mr. Gensler. The deep state's tactics are not just evolving, they're becoming blatantly obvious. So kudos to him for sticking it to the current chairman of the SEC, in which we all despise. If you'd like to see Gary Gensler get fired, put hashtag GG or FGG, fire Gary Gensler, in the live chat. And also, if you want to do that for the repost, that's be fantastic as well. Repost this and put hashtag FGG, and I'll repost that here for you shortly. Now, check this out. Max shared this yesterday. My understanding is that Trump, when he wins, is announcing a plan to do a Saylor for the US Treasury at the Bitcoin conference. Now, y'all know Michael Saylor, publicly traded company, MicroStrategy, the first one to put the biddy on the balance sheet. Could this be a strategic move? You know Trump is speaking at the Nashville event in approximately 2 weeks. You know he'll be there. He'll be speaking about Bitcoin. You already know, 10 days before the assassination attempt, Trump came out ultimately endorsing Bitcoin, and they try to take his life. Also at this conference, you're going to have RFK Jr. You're going to have a lot of very powerful people speaking, including Kathy Wood, including Mr. Miller, a billionaire. You're going to have Michael Saylor there. So it's going to be pretty lit. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the high priest that this is Trump's strategy and plan. They want to be ultimately doing the Saylor and putting the Bitcoin in the US Treasury or on the balance sheet of the United States of America as the global hash war intensifies. Now, check this out. This also just in. Senator Mike Crapo, Senator JD Vance writes a letter to Gary Gensler regarding MMTLP, ultimately calling him out. So again, much respect for him for doing something against Gensler. Now, Samson Mao just recently tweeted and got almost 42,000 views. Bitcoin is going to $1 million. I am not uncertain. I am also not uncertain that Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Samson Mao. And as I shared earlier regarding the Mt. Gox rumors that there's going to be a massive sell-off, something to keep in mind. Only 20% of the distributed Mt. Gox Bitcoin will hit the market. About 80% will just move to cold storage or be borrowed against, because again, that's the smart money. Everyone who was having Bitcoin back at the Mt. Gox era when it became a defunct exchange in 2014, these are the early adopters. So these aren't just some, Joe Schmoes out there. And I agree. I think 80% will hodl and do the right thing. But of course, a certain percentage is probably going to sell. There's always a percentage of sellers. However, keep in mind, 100% of the distributed Bitcoin Cash will hit the market. And because the Bitcoin Cash market cap is very insignificant in comparison to Bitcoin, do note it's going to get wrecked and it's going to be very dark for Bitcoin Cash holders. So do keep that in mind. But back to our story here regarding Vance. James David Vance is the full name. JD Vance, the new running mate of Donald Trump, once called SEC Chair Gensler the worst person to be regulating the crypto industry in a recently resurfaced video. And again, respect to him. The clip, which has been circulating on social media, shows Vance speaking at Remedy Fest, a private conference hosted by Y Combinator and Bloomberg, and that was back on February, or at the end of February 28th. If there is a candidate for the worst person in my view, at least in terms of my substantial disagreement, it is Gary Gensler. Let me know if you agree with that. I agree 100% because obviously they're using him to weaponize crypto, and I don't trust Miss Yellen. I don't trust Gary Gensler, Senator Warren, or Sleepy Joe Poop Your Pants. You know what I mean? All of them need to go. Kiyosaki refers to these folk as the Three Stooges, in this case, the Four Stooges. But anyways, he wants to inject politics way too much into the actual business of securities in the U.S., precisely what No Claire Gare does. The approach that Gary has taken to regulating blockchain and crypto is the exact opposite of what it should be. Preach. Now, I'm starting to like this guy a lot more every minute now. Vance has stood in solidarity with the crypto industry several times throughout his political career. On May 16th, Vance was among 60 senators who voted to reverse the SEC controversial SAB 121 accounting guidelines, a set of policy suggestions that prevent U.S. banks from custody of crypto assets. Then earlier in this year, February 7th, Vance led a handful of other Republican senators in penning a letter to Mr. Gensler raising concerns over the enforcement action against crypto mining firm Debtbox, where the judge found the SEC lawyers use false statements to justify freezing assets linked to the company. That's criminal. SEC and Gary, you're responsible here, bro. Now, quoting him here, it is unconscionable that any federal agency which has often pursued its regulatory mission through enforcement actions rather than rulemaking could operate in such an unethical and unprofessional manner, wrote Vance in the letter. And again, this is another letter directed towards the Honorable Gary Gensler. I think it's dishonorable referring to him as honorable, considering he's crooked, implicit, and let's not forget, he was the cop on the beat when it came to the FTX debacle. How many times did he meet behind closed doors with SBF? On record, at least 3 times. So that means probably 30, 40, 50, 60. But I digress. In February of 2022, Vance launched crypto as a solution to the government overreach when Canada's finance minister froze the bank accounts of the convoy of truckers protesting the COVID-19 lockdowns. This is why crypto is taken off. The regime will cut off your access to banking if you have the wrong politics. Preach! So much respect to JD Vance. Let me know your thoughts on him as a running mate to Trump. Now, before serving as the Republican senator in the state of Ohio, 39-year-old Vance served in the U.S. Marines, studied law at Yale, and later went on to work as a venture capitalist under PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. And in a 2022 financial disclosure report for the U.S. Senate, Vance reported holding between $100,000 and $250,000 worth of the biddy. That's right, yo. And I want to read you this one more thing from Vance. This is a letter he wrote to Gary Gensler regarding MMTLP. Dear Chairman Gensler, we write today requesting that the U.S. SEC examine events surrounding the trading halt of MetaMaterial Series A preferred shares and provide appropriate info to Senate offices engaged in the matter, as noted by our White House counterparts in a letter dated July 28, 2023. MMTLP shares began trading on the over-the-counter market in 2021. In 2022, the SEC approved the Form S-1 and amendments to spin off a portion of the company, Meta Materials, into the new company, NextBridge Hydrocarbons. On December 9, 2022, FINRA issued a trading halt on the company's stock, preventing shareholders from making further trades, and FINRA's FAQs regarding the MMTLP corporate action and trading halt. It is noted that the NextBridge shares would be distributed to MMTLP shareholders with settled positions as of December 12, 2022, and FINRA halted trading on December 9th because security transactions typically must settle within 2 business days in accordance with SEC rules. Since December's events, investors across the country have struggled to gain clarity, Mr. No Claire Gare, regarding both the spin-off transactions and the halt on the trading. Therefore, we echo our House counterparts and request the SEC review these market events and any corporate filings made within the commission. It is equally important to our constituents that the SEC further scrutinize these matters to determine any wrongdoing occurred. We hope for a timely response to this matter and ask that the SEC provide detailed information and analysis. So there you have it, yo. What are your thoughts? Pro-crypto president, pro-crypto running mate. We got Vance. We got Trump. Will this send Bitcoin to $1 million, as Samson Mao is predicting? Let me know your thoughts. Personally, I think it's inevitable. Personally, I think if Trump gets reelected, there's a strong possibility we hit $1 million. And we could potentially do it during his term, because keeping in mind that halving is in 2028. He gets reelected, hypothetically speaking, end of this year. He's going to be our president, our POTUS, for the next 4 years. And we finally got a pro-crypto president. This is a big deal. You know what I mean? Look at Sleepy Joe. He despises Bitcoin. He despises crypto. That's why he uses regulators like Senator Warren and Gary Gensler and all these hucksters and fraudsters and flim-flam artists. And corruption occurs. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Enforcement by corruption. That's what we have right now. So what are your thoughts? Let me know, family.